Welcome to Exploring Today's AI Concerns. In this video, you will learn about some of today's hot topics in AI. First, you will hear about why trustworthy AI is the hot topic in AI. Then, you will hear about how AI is used in facial recognition technologies, in hiring, in marketing on social media, and in healthcare.
People frequently ask me what are current hot topics in AI, and I will tell you that whatever I answer today is likely to be different next week or even by tomorrow. The world of AI is extremely dynamic, which is a good thing. It's an emerging technology with an amazing amount of possibilities and the potential to solve so many problems so much faster than what we thought was before possible. Now, as we've seen, in some cases, it can have harmful consequences. And so I would say that the hot topic in AI is, how do we do this responsibly? And IBM has come up with 5 pillars to address this issue, kind of summarizing the idea of responsible AI. That is explainability, transparency, robustness, privacy, and fairness. And we can go into those topics in more depth. But I want to emphasize 2 things here. And one is that this is not a one and done sport. If you're going to use AI, if we're going to put it into use in society, this is not something you just address at the beginning or at the end. This is something you have to address throughout the entire life cycle of AI. These are questions you have to ask, whether you're at the drawing board, whether you're designing the AI, you're training the AI, or you have put it into use, or you are the end user who's interacting with the AI. And so those 5 pillars are things you want to constantly think about throughout the entire life cycle of AI. And then second, and I think even more importantly, is this is a team sport. We all need to be aware of both the potential good and the potential harm that comes from AI, and encourage everybody to ask questions. Make room for people to be curious about how AI works. And what it's doing. And with that, I think we can really use it to address good problems and have some great results and mitigate any of the potential harm. So stay curious.
In designing solutions around artificial intelligence, some call it AI, facial recognition has become a prominent use case. There are really 3 typical examples or categories of models and algorithms that are being designed. Facial detection, that's simply detecting whether an object is a human face versus, say, a dog or a cat. This type of facial recognition happens without uniquely identifying who that face might belong to. In facial authentication, you might use this type of facial recognition to open up your iPhone or your Android device. In this case, we provide a one-to-one authentication by comparing the features of a face image with a previously stored singular image, meaning that you are really only comparing the images with a distinct image of the owner of the iPhone or Android device. Facial matching, in this case, we compare the image with a database of other images or photos. This is different from the previous in that the model is trying to determine a facial match of an individual against a database full of images belonging or photos belonging to other humans. There are many different examples of facial recognition. Many of them you have no doubt experienced in your day-to-day activity. Some have proven to be helpful, while others have shown to be not so helpful. And then there are others that have proven to be downright criminal in nature, where certain demographics of people have been harmed because of the use of these facial recognition systems. We've seen facial recognitions and systems and solutions in AI system provide significant value in scenarios like navigating through an airport or going through a security line, or even using previous examples like the one we talked about earlier, where facial recognition to unlock your iPhone or possibly to unlock your home, or unlock a door in your automobile. These are all helpful uses of facial recognition technologies, but there are also some clear examples and use cases that must be off limits. These might include identifying a person in a crowd without the sole permission of that person, or doing mass surveillance on a single or group of people. These types of uses of technology raises important privacy, civil rights, and human rights concerns. When used the wrong way by the wrong people, then facial recognition technologies, no doubt, can be used to suppress, dissent, or infringe upon the rights of minorities, or to simply just erase their basic expectations of having privacy.
AI is being increasingly introduced into each stage of workforce progression: hiring, onboarding, career progression, including promotions and awards, handling attrition, etc. Let's talk about hiring. Consider an organization that receives thousands of job applications, people applying for all kinds of jobs: front office, back office, seasonal, permanent. Instead of having large teams of people sit and sift through all these applications, AI helps you rank and prioritize applicants against targeted job openings, presenting a list of the top candidates to the hiring managers. AI solutions can process text in resumes and combine that with other structured data to help in decision-making. Now, we need to be careful to have guardrails in place. We need to ensure the use of AI in hiring is not biased across sensitive attributes like age, gender, ethnicity, and the like, even when those attributes are not directly used by the AI, but may be coming in from proxy attributes like zip code or type of job previously held.
One of the hot topics in AI today is its application in marketing on social media. It has completely transformed how brands interact with their audiences on social media platforms like TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. AI today can create ads for you. It can create social media posts for you. It can help you target those ads appropriately. It can use sentiment analysis to identify new audiences for you. All of this drives incredible results for a marketeer. It improves the effectiveness of the marketing campaigns while dramatically reducing the cost of running those campaigns. Now, the same techniques and capabilities that AI produces for doing marketing on social media platforms also raises some ethical questions. The marketing is successful because of all of the data that social media platforms collect from their users. Ostensibly, this data is collected to deliver more personalized experiences for end users. It's not always explicit what data is being collected and if you are providing your consent for them to use such data. Now, the same techniques that are so effective for marketing campaigns for brands can also be applied for generating misinformation, conspiracy theories, whether it's political or scientific misinformation. And this has horrendous implications for our communities at large. This is why it is absolutely critical that all enterprises adhere to some clear principles around transparency, explainability, trust, privacy in terms of how they use AI or build AI into their solutions, into their platforms.
The use of AI is increasing across all healthcare segments: healthcare providers, payers, life sciences, etc. Payer organizations are using AI and machine learning solutions that tap into claims data, often combining it with other data sets like social determinants of health. A top use case is disease prediction for coordinating care. For example, predicting who in the member population is likely to have an adverse condition, maybe like an ER visit in the next 3 months, and then providing the right forms of intervention and prevention. Equitable care becomes very important in this context. We need to make sure the AI is not biased across sensitive attributes like age, gender, ethnicity, etc. Across all of these, of course, conversational AI, where virtual agents as well as systems that help humans better service the member population, that has become table stakes. Across all of these use cases of AI in healthcare, we see a few common things. Being able to unlock insights from the rich sets of data the organization owns, improving the member or patient experience, and having guardrails in place to ensure AI is trustworthy.
Welcome to Exploring AI and Ethics. In this video, you will learn about what AI ethics is and why it matters. You will find out what makes AI ethics a socio-technical challenge, what it means to build and use AI ethically, and how organizations can put AI ethics into action.
AI, artificial intelligence, is very pervasive in everybody's life. Even if often we don't realize it, we use it when we use a credit card to buy something online, when we search something on the web, when we post or like or follow somebody on a social platform, and even when we drive with the navigation support and the driver assistance capabilities of the car based on AI. This pervasiveness generates very fast and significant transformations in our life and also in the structure and equilibria of our society. This is why AI, besides being a technical and scientific discipline, has also a very significant social impact. This raises a lot of ethical questions about how AI should be designed, developed, deployed, used, and also regulated. The socio-technical dimensions of AI requires efforts to identify all stakeholders that go well beyond technical experts and include also sociologists, philosophers, economists, policymakers, and all the communities that are impacted by the deployment of this technology. Inclusiveness is necessary in defining the ecosystem, in all the phases of the AI development and deployment, and also in the impact of AI in the deployment scenario. Without it, we risk of creating AI only for some and leave many others behind in a disadvantaged position. Everybody needs to be involved in defining the vision of the future that we want to build, using AI and other technology as a means and not as an end. To achieve this, appropriate guidelines are necessary to drive the creation and use of AI in the right direction. Technical tools are necessary and useful, but they should be complemented by principles, guardrails, well-defined processes, and effective governance. We should not think that all this slows down innovation. Think about traffic rules. It may seem that traffic lights, precedents and stop signals and speed limits are slowing us down. However, without them, we would not drive faster, but actually we would drive much slower because we would be always in a complete state of uncertainty about other vehicles and pedestrians. AI ethics identifies and addresses the socio-technical issues raised by this technology and makes sure that the right kind of innovation is supported and facilitated so that the path to the future we want is faster.
As our CEO at IBM states, trust is our license to operate. We've earned this trust through our policies, programs, partnerships, and advocacy of the responsible use of technology. For over 100 years, IBM has been at the forefront of innovation that brings benefits to our clients and society. This approach most definitely applies to the development, use, and deployment of AI. Therefore, ethics should be embedded into the life cycle of the design and development process. Ethical decision-making is not just a technical problem-solving approach. Rather, an ethical, sociological, technical, and human-centered approach should be embarked upon, based on principles, values, standards, laws, and benefits to society. So having this foundation is important, even necessary, but where to start? A good place to start is with a set of guiding principles. At IBM, we call our principles the principles of trust and transparency, of which there are 3. The purpose of AI is to augment, not replace human intelligence. Data and insights belong to their creator, and new technology, including AI systems, must be transparent and explainable. This last principle is built upon our pillars, of which there are 5. We just mentioned transparency, which reinforces trust by sharing the what and the how the AI is being used for. It must be explainable and also fair, so when it's properly calibrated, it can assist in making better choices. It should be robust, which means it should be secure, and as well as privacy preserving, safeguarding privacy and rights. We know having principles and pillars are not enough. We have an extensive set of tools and talented practitioners that can help diagnose, monitor, promote all of our pillars and continuous monitoring to mitigate against drift and unintended consequences.
The first step to putting AI ethics into action, just like with anything else, is about building understanding and awareness. This is about equipping your teams to think about AI ethics, what it means to put it into action, whatever solution you're building and deploying. Let's take an example. If you're building a learning solution and deploying that within a company, your HR team leader who is doing that should be thinking about, is this solution designed with users in mind? Have we co-created the solution with users? How does it enable equal access to opportunity to all the employees across diverse groups? A keen understanding of AI ethics and reflecting on these issues continuously is critical as a foundation to putting AI ethics into action. The second step in putting AI ethics into action, once you build that understanding and awareness and everybody is reflecting on this topic, is to put in place a governance structure. And the critical point here is it's a governance structure to scale AI ethics in action. It's not about doing it in one isolated instance in a market or in a business unit. It's about a governance structure that works at scale. So we talked about understanding and awareness as a foundation. Second, governance, which is the responsibility of leaders to put in place structures. Once you've got these 2 elements, the third step is operationalizing. How do you make sure a developer or a data scientist or a vendor who's in Malaysia or Poland knows how to put AI ethics into action, and what does it mean for them, right? It's one thing to put structures in place at the global level, but how do you make sure it's operationalized at scale in the markets, and every user, every data scientist, every developer knows what they need to do? This is all about having clarity of the pillars of trustworthy AI. For IBM, it is transparency. Let's go back to our learning example. Are you designing it with users? Think about what we think of as best-in-class transparent recommendation systems, your favorite movie streaming service or your cab hailing service. It's transparent. Is it explainable? Is it telling you what recommendations are and why they're being made, but also telling you as a user, it's your choice to make the final decision? Fairness, is it giving equal access to opportunity to everyone by ensuring adoption, not just of the process, but also the outcome across different groups? Robustness, privacy. Every data scientist and developer and every vendor needs to know what we mean by these in a very operational manner.
Welcome to Defining AI Ethics. Humans rely on culturally agreed upon morals and standards of action, or ethics, to guide their decision-making, especially for decisions that impact others. As AI is increasingly used to automate and augment decision-making, it is critical that AI is built with ethics at the core so its outcomes align with human ethics and expectations. AI ethics is a multidisciplinary field that investigates how to maximize AI's beneficial impacts while reducing risks and adverse impacts. It explores issues like data responsibility and privacy, inclusion, moral agency, value alignment, accountability, and technology misuse to understand how to build and use AI in ways that align with human ethics and expectations. There are 5 pillars for AI ethics: explainability, fairness, robustness, transparency, and privacy. These pillars are focus areas that help us embed ethical principles in AI systems. Explainability. AI is explainable when it can show how and why it arrived at a particular outcome or recommendation. You can think of explainability as an AI system showing its work. Fairness. AI is fair when it treats individuals or groups equitably. AI can help humans make fairer choices by counterbalancing human biases. But beware, biases can be present in AI too, so steps must be taken to mitigate it. Robustness. AI is robust when it can effectively handle exceptional conditions like abnormal input or adversarial attacks. Robust AI is built to withstand intentional and unintentional interference. Transparency. AI is transparent when appropriate information is shared with humans about how the AI system was designed and developed. Transparency means that humans have access to information, like what data was used to train the AI system, how the system collects and stores data, and who has access to the data the system collects. Privacy. Because AI ingests so much data, it must be designed to prioritize and safeguard humans' privacy and data rights. AI that is built to respect privacy collects and stores only the minimum amount of data it needs to function, and collected data should never be repurposed without users' consent, among other considerations. In summary, together these 5 pillars, explainability, fairness, robustness, transparency, and privacy, help us to design, develop, deploy, and use AI more ethically, and to understand how to build and use AI in ways that align with human ethics and expectations.
Welcome to Understanding Bias in AI. In this video, you will learn about bias in the context of AI. You will find out how bias can emerge in AI, how bias can impact AI's outcomes, and how to begin mitigating potential bias in AI.
So bias in artificial intelligence is all about unwanted behaviors where AI systems that are used in consequential decision-making tasks, whether it's in lending, hiring, even in criminal justice, give systematic disadvantages to certain groups and individuals. So an example would be an AI system that's helping make decisions on who should receive extra preventative health care, and it gives more of that to white people than Black people. Or another example is hiring algorithm, where the AI system actually gives more qualified men a chance to interview than qualified women. There's actually many sources of this happening. So when we talk about AI or machine learning systems, they're trained on historical decisions that human decision makers have made in the past. So because of that, there's actually the possibility that the human decision makers in the past were implicitly or explicitly biased themselves, and so that's reflected in the training data through prejudice. Second is through the sampling of the data. So it's possible that certain groups are overrepresented or underrepresented in a particular data set. Another aspect that's sometimes overlooked is in the data processing or data preparation phase in a data science project. So even the fact that I do some feature engineering can lead to additional biases that might not have been there before. So an example of that is coming back to our healthcare example. So if I look at healthcare costs separately as a feature, so inpatient, outpatient, or emergency room, then there's much less bias that's introduced against African Americans. Whereas if I combine all of those into a single feature, it's actually much more bias against African Americans. Okay. And then there's also the question of how am I even posing the problem itself? So maybe I'm predicting the wrong thing. So if I'm trying to predict criminality or future crimes, then arrests is not a good way to look at that, because the police arrest people more often where they're more active in certain neighborhoods, and being arrested is not the same as being guilty. So as we talked about, there's many sources of those biases, and so we need to take actions that help undo those sources. So one important aspect of it is even recognizing that there are biases. So having a team of people who have diverse lived experiences is one way to recognize those harms and other sort of biases that might be in play. Another thing is to search for data sets that actually have fewer biases themselves. So that's another way to counteract biases. And then finally, there's technical approaches. So if we have a machine learning model that we're training on data that is biased, we can actually introduce extra constraints or other sort of statistical measures in order to mitigate biases. So we've developed several such algorithms, and many of them are available in the open source toolkit named AI Fairness 360.
Our goal is to ensure our technology makes a positive impact on society. I am proud to be a member of the IBM AI Ethics Board to focus on conscious inclusion through good tech. Our AI Ethics Board represents a cross-section of diverse IBMers who address and research eliminating bias while establishing standards in this space. A few ways in which IBMers use AI and data skills is by leveraging our technology to develop assets to address bias. Also to address inclusive language and tech terminology. This is around our Language Matters initiative. And to ensure testing of our solutions to decrease the probability and minimize the potential for bias. In D&I, we use AI and data analytics and insights to inform decision support and address as well as minimize the potential for bias. In HR, this means enhancing decision support that can inform pay and retention, hiring, and promotion decisions. Using AI and data insights plays an important role to assist in our compliance requirements and proactive actions that we take around the globe.
Welcome to AI Ethics and Regulations. In this video, you will learn about what an AI regulation is, how AI regulations connect with AI ethics, and why it's important to understand AI regulations if you work with AI.
A regulation is a government rule enforceable by law. The landscape of regulations around AI is evolving rapidly, and it's important to understand key pieces of regulation in order to design, develop, and deploy and use AI legally and ethically.
IBM's position is that we call for precision regulation of artificial intelligence, and we support targeted policies that would increase the responsibilities for companies to develop and operate trustworthy AI. Precision regulation of AI refers to a regulation that aims to be risk-based, context-specific, and which allocates responsibility to the party that is closest to the risk, which might shift throughout the AI lifecycle.
Specifically, IBM has proposed a precision regulation framework that incorporates 5 policy imperatives for organizations that provide and/or use AI systems. First, designate an AI ethics official, a lead official responsible for compliance with trustworthy AI. Develop different rules for different risks. In other words, regulate AI in context, not the technology itself. Don't hide your AI, make it transparent. Explain your AI. So in other words, make it explainable, not a black box decision. And test your AI for bias.
Welcome to AI Ethics, Governance, and ESG. In this video, you will learn about what AI governance is and what it accomplishes, what ESG is and what it accomplishes, and how governance and ESG connect to AI ethics.
Governance is the organization's act of governing through its corporate instructions, staff, its processes, and its systems to direct, evaluate, and monitor, and to take corrective action throughout the AI lifecycle to provide assurance that an AI system is operating as an organization intends it to, and as its stakeholders expect it to, and as may be required by relevant regulation. The objective of governance is to deliver trustworthy AI by establishing requirements for accountability, responsibility, and oversight. Governance provides many benefits, including, for example, trust. When AI activities are aligned with values, organizations can build systems that are transparent, fair, and trustworthy, boosting client satisfaction and brand reputation. Another benefit is efficiency. When AI activities are standardized and optimized, development can happen with greater efficiency, accelerating time to market. And compliance. When AI activities are already managed and monitored, adjusting them to align with new and forthcoming industry regulations and legal requirements is really less cumbersome. A successful governance program takes into account people, processes, and tools. It clearly defines the roles and responsibilities of people in building and managing trustworthy AI, including leaders who will set policies and establish accountability. It establishes processes for building, managing, monitoring, and communicating about AI, and it leverages tools to gain greater visibility and consistency into AI system performance throughout the AI lifecycle.
ESG stands for Environmental Social Governance, and these are factors that are used to measure all non-financial risks and opportunities at companies. At IBM, that translates into IBM Impact, our strategy and philosophy on ESG. IBM Impact is comprised of 3 pillars that we believe will create a more sustainable future. These pillars are environmental impact, equitable impact, and ethical impact. And we accomplish this by making a lasting positive impact in the world in business ethics, our environment, and in the communities in which we work and live. The governance aspect of ESG pertains to creating innovations, policies, and practices that prioritize ethics, trust, transparency, and above all, accountability. And AI ethics is a significant aspect of our governance initiatives. For example, in 2022, we're aiming to reach 1,000 ecosystem partners trained in tech ethics. This goal matters because we believe the benefits of AI should touch the many and not just the few. And developing a culture of trustworthy AI must happen everywhere, not just within IBM. We're leading the way in AI ethics as we aspire to create a more ethical future.